The thoughts that are occurring in your mind, 99.9% of them are not yours. Now listen to this carefully. The thoughts that are passing through your mind do not belong to you. If you want to access this power and harness it, you need to begin thinking for yourself. You need to begin thinking independently. You need to begin making conscious decisions in your life. Now, this might sound confusing to you for a second. Wait a second, Nathan, you're saying that my thoughts are not mine. That is exactly what I am telling you. Thoughts simply are things that just happen. They're all around us. They are no different from any external circumstance, like a cloudy day versus a sunny day. There's no difference. It's just things that are happening. Every thought that passes through your mind is just an option. But while you believe these thoughts are you, instead of harnessing the power that the Creator gave you, you are instead walking around thinking about what so-and-so said at work. Or you're walking around thinking about these past things in your life that make you feel like a failure. Or you're wondering if your outfit looks good and you look cute today. Or you're wondering if you're going to be able to make rent at the end of the month. See, all the time that you spend thinking about these things, you are taking all of the power that you have and you're not focusing it. You are not focusing it independently. You have not decided via independent thought. And I'm going to explain the difference between what thoughts are yours and what aren't in just a moment. But you're not harnessing that independent thinking. You have not consciously decided what it is that you want to think about in your life, that you want to feel, that you want to act upon, that you want to create, that you want to be. 99% of people, I would argue, are simply just walking through life, not thinking for themselves, just going with the way that things are, accepting things that the music they listen to programs in them to feel. And they're feeling these feelings and they think they're theirs, but they're not. They're just options, right? Think about romantic relationships, how it's like the number one thing that everybody has on a pedestal. Do you think it's possible that that might be something that's in your field because of all the Disney movies you watched growing up, of the princes and the princesses, and all the people around you who are constantly most excited about the guy and girl romantic influence in their life? I'm not telling you not to engage with romantic relationships or not to consider things that have happened in your past. What I'm simply trying to help relay is, what if these thoughts are actually yours? Have you ever wondered? And what are just thoughts that have passed through you because everybody else is thinking them, and you believe that they are your own thoughts, and so you act on them, and so you live what I call an unconscious life. What I call you stepping into the passenger seat instead of having your hand on the driver's wheel. That's what I call it. That's how I look at it. Are you driving your life, or are you in the passenger side? Your life is on autopilot. If you do not wake up and begin to think independently for yourself, you need to begin having original thoughts. So what's the difference here? All right. The difference is this. Thoughts just pass through us. They're just things that just happen. Blah, 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 blah. Most of the thoughts that pass through you are entirely related to the collective of the environment and the people around you, meaning the environment that you live in, what the collective of the society that you are exposed to. And it's very different, right? If you live in the city versus living out in the mountains like me, the collective thought is very different. Understand that a lot of the thoughts that are passing through you are not yours. They're just the average thought of the collective that you are in, all right? Now, when you realize that, you will begin thinking for yourself and acknowledging that certain fear-based thoughts or negativity or judgments or things like these, you'll begin to recognize that these thoughts coming through, they're not you. You realize, I'm not thinking a judgmental thing right now. You simply realize a judgmental thought has flown into my mind, okay? And then you think independently. You say, I know who I am and what I want to experience and create in my life. I know for myself who I am and my target in life. What are you aiming for? Let me ask you this before we continue on. What are you aiming for in your life? Most people, if you ask them this question, they won't be able to tell you what they're aiming for, but they'll be able to tell you what they don't want. They could tell you they don't want to experience failure or poverty. They don't want to be alone, right? They don't want to work really hard for the rest of their lives. But not many people can decisively tell you what they do want. If throughout the day you're thinking about what you don't want, you will never be able to achieve what you do want. Because that must be the seed that you are constantly planting and watering in your mind. What you do want. All right, now I want to make this very clear because it is the truth. No matter who you are, then the truth about this is that there are so many belief systems and so many philosophies and so many voices out there in the world that want to tell you, hey, this is the truth. This is the truth. I want to tell you something. There is truth. And it is a truth that you think independently. You decide and you see for yourself. That's truth. All right? If you just accept even what I tell you in this video or anything else, for example, then you are not thinking independently for yourself. So I don't want you to walk away from this video, for example, and just start thinking the way that I'm presenting my own thoughts in this video. I want you to think for yourself. I want you to think independently. I want you to come up with your own conclusions. I want you to become a scientific observer and become extremely active and conscious in your life. Start testing things. Start seeing what is happening here, what's happening there. Be conscious. Don't just go with the flow and the motions of everything that's happening around you. So again, as we've already touched on, most of the thoughts that come through you, they're not even yours. It's just collective energy. It's just collective thought. But there is another place that these thoughts come from, and it is from the fear, the unconsciousness within you. Now, if you enter within yourself, and this is not some like metaphysical super hard thing to understand, okay? You don't need to like take some like, you don't have to go like live in a meditation temple for 20 years. It's not like that. This is a very simple procedure that we can do together today. If you enter within yourself, which we'll explain, you will completely shatter the illusions of fear. All of the fear, all of the feelings of you not being good enough, you're not worthy enough yet. Maybe you know what you want, you've thought of it, but you still don't think you're ready. You don't think you're capable, or you don't think that it would work, right? This is all fear. That's all of it. It's just fear. It's just nonsense. The only reason that fear is within you, continuously generating thoughts and feelings, I want to tell you something. The only reason that fear is able to occupy that space is because you are not deliberately occupying that space yourself. You are leaving much space within yourself empty. You're leaving it empty. You're not consciously present in yourself, so to speak. Think about it like this. Some people feel kind of socially afraid, so what they do is they detach, they leave their bodies. But when you leave your body, you have now left this empty vessel here, and now you are welcoming in the energy of everybody else in that social interaction, all their thoughts, all their feelings, all the nonsense too. You're just letting it all come in and occupy you. And then you walk away from that social interaction and you wonder, oh God, I'm such a sensitive person. I'm such a high-level empath. I want to suggest a different idea to you, and I mean no offense. I want to help you take power in your life because I know how powerful you are. You can keep telling the story it's because you're a sensitive, high-level empath, or you could be more straight up and authentic with yourself and realize it's because you are not harnessing your focus. You have not deliberately occupied the space within you. You just dip out and leave. You're just drifting. You're being a passenger. You need to be here in your body, in this moment, in this reality. Because I see so many people around me just leaving to all these other realities, all these other different like fantasies and prophecies and all this different very exciting conversation stuff out there. I get it. It's very tempting. But I just have one thing to ask you. If you realize that if you can accurately focus, accurately think, accurately take action in your life, accurately observe, accurately decide, and accurately think for yourself, you will win at anything that you apply yourself to in this world. I promise you that. Because you are far more powerful and intelligent than you give yourself credit for. You have to apply yourself though. You have to make a decision for yourself about who you are, what matters to you, and then you need to occupy the space within yourself, consciously, consistently, every moment of every day. It's called being a deliberate creator versus, again, what I call being a passenger to life. Letting everything else around you steer your life for you. And I want to tell you something. The only things that want to steer your life for you and take control of your life, they are all fear-based manifestors, okay? That's all it is. All I'd like to remind you of in this video is how unstoppable you are, my friend. So, these fear-based thinking, it's very simple, all right? All these thoughts that pop up in your mind, all these feelings throughout the day, you need to realize that they are not you. They are just options. Just like if you're looking at a menu at a restaurant and there's all these different things on the menu, okay, you don't sit there and freak out. Well, okay, some people do freak out at all the options. They're like, oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed. But you can clearly sift through and decide on that menu, if you're a deliberate person, this is the meal I want. This is what I'm having. And notice how all those other meals take up zero conscious space in your field. You see what you want, you take it. You say, this is what I'm having, and it will be brought to you, because that is how the universe works, unconditionally for everyone. Now understand all the different thoughts that are flooding through your mind, all the different external circumstances that are happening in reality, all the emotions, all the things that you're feeling, all the experiences, all the conversations you have, people popping up in your life and saying this, somebody popping up and saying that. Understand, all of these things are no different from options on a menu at a restaurant. What I'm trying to help you to see is that if you decide what it is that you want, you pick it, you choose it, that's it. You have occupied the space deliberately. This is the meal that I am having. So I just got to ask you something. Have you placed your order to the restaurant of the universe of the meal that you're having? Or are you sitting there looking at the menu of all the options and all the stuff that everybody else is doing around you and thinking, whoa, what if I have what they're having? Or what if this? Or, oh man, I don't know. What if I make the wrong decision? Or if you live this way, your life will pass you by and you will experience maybe very meager levels of success in your life. If you become very deliberate, if you become very conscious, if you become focused, you decide what you want, and you do not stop acting upon it and thinking upon it, if you can do that, you will be free. You will be free from the prison that binds nearly everybody that you cross paths with. And I do not mean this in a judgmental way. I have become quite a scientific observer in my life. I am facing reality in my life. I'm not living in a fantasy. I'm not living in delusion. I'm being very clear and deliberate. I'm looking in front of me and I'm seeing what is happening, and it is very clear that there are certain natural laws and principles at play. And you either become a victim of circumstance, or you learn how to harness circumstance and focus it toward the achievement of what it is that you want for your life. It's that simple. You either let things happen in life and push you around, or you stand firmly in who it is that you are, and you use the things that happen to your advantage. It really is that simple. Is there more to it? Of course, there's always more. There's more to everything. We live in an infinitely abundant universe. But when it comes to deliberately harnessing and focusing the power that you are, it comes to a realization that I've had. And I believe that this is a realization that really can benefit you in your life. And that's really why I'm making this video. It's very easy to get caught up in all the things going on in the world. It's very easy to get pulled. But what I've realized is the only reason I was ever pulled is because I was not standing firmly in what it is that is my decision for my life. Period. And so I ask you, will you today walk away from this video and make a firm decision for your life? Because if you decide, if you figure out what you want, it's yours. Because when you know what you want, when you know who you are, and you have made this very firm decision for yourself, you are no longer a victim to circumstance. None of the circumstances externally and none of the circumstances internally It doesn't matter what thoughts or feelings or nonsense arises within you. You have firmly decided who you are. You have firmly decided what you are willing to give your attention to, even in your thoughts. When thoughts pass by, why give attention to silly thoughts that drain your power and waste your focus? Why would you do that? Just let them go by, all right? Meditation teachers teach us it's like a cloud in the sky. Clouds just pass by. I want you to realize that the sky, let me show you this. See this right now? The sky, see the blue? Let the sky be your definite purpose in life, your definite purpose. What it is that you have deliberately chosen, who you are, and what you will have in your life. It's that simple, okay? That's the blue in the sky. Now, clouds may pass by in your life. Sometimes a cloud passes by. Oh, I'm tired. Sometimes a cloud passes by. Oh, this person at work was really rude to me today and hurt my feelings. Sometimes a cloud passes by. Oh, my relationship just ended. Oh, finance problems. All of these are just clouds. Keep your vision fixed upon the sky itself. And even if the sky is full of clouds and you cannot see the blue, you know that it is there. It is just behind the clouds. And soon the clouds will pass. But what most people do is they see an annoying cloud go by, this negative thought pattern within themselves, and they stop looking at the sky. And they just follow the cloud. They'll follow it all across the world. And they'll whine, and they'll kick and they'll scream, and they'll cry out to God, the Creator, whatever you want to call this amazing creative power and force in our world. They'll cry out and say, why have you done this to me? Will you please help me? Will you please save me? And I want to tell you what the Creator genuinely says. You are already saved, my friend. Because the moment you were born with the ability and the tools within yourself. And if you pick up the tools and you harness them and you focus them, you can bring forth all the abundance. So why are you sitting here asking me to do it for you when you have everything you need right now to do it for yourself and for others? That you literally are the very God that you've been praying for. But it's you. You've got to wake up and be who you really are. You've got to wield this power. But so many people are just so afraid to wield the power that they have, and so they don't. And they drift through their life, and that's what happens to them. And they wonder why their life looks this way. And they wonder why their internal life looks this way. Why is my life filled with all of these emotions and these thoughts? Because you have, day after day, identified with them. You have hammered them in. You have said, these negative thoughts are me. These negative emotions are me. These negative circumstances are me. You are so firmly identified with that cloud that you have forgotten the sky behind it. Remember the sky. It is your definite purpose in your life. It is who you are. It is the decision you make for yourself. You've got this, my friend. You've got this. I know you do. Thanks. Much love to you. And I hope to see you for the next video.